7 yeas, no nays. We could almost do a commercial for Old Charles. I'm sure everybody here is eating Old Charles. And we enjoy it. All right, next item come for council, so that permit is issued. Next item come for council will be item number 10, it's city administrator's report.
In your package is a number of budget adjustments that are routine in nature, and I'm just reporting to you that there are adjustments in buildings and grounds, community development, and finance, just to move money around and take care of some various needs. There's no bottom line change to the overall budget. Some minor changes, some minor changes. Also, in your package, a fairly extensive package about the community development block grant, and we developed an annual action plan which says what we're going to do with these grant fund monies. We have a fairly extensive plan of things that looks fairly similar to what we've done in the past, but we're providing that for you for your information. If you have any feedback, please let us know, but that will be moving forward to the approval process to HUD unless you have any concerns or questions. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to refer to the planning staff, but I think it's fairly self-explanatory. You've had a chance to look at the report.
Tony, do we have to have a public hearing on this in front of council at any time?
Let me ask Alan to kind of explain the process.
Actually, no public hearing is required before city council. We have had 2 advertised public hearings. The notices went out in mid-April, and we've had 2 public hearings scheduled here at City Center at different times of the day. We didn't have attendees show up, but we have received phone calls and emails from previous recipients of these funds to get us to these numbers and request that we have for you tonight.
Part of this is the facade downtown trip.
Continuing with the facade program, we still have some leftover money in the current year's program that will be added to this addition in this current year's action plan. Homeowner rehab, this ongoing projects that we have.
And you referenced the survey, the citizen survey, and use that, drew information from that for this.
Yes, and staff reviewed the comments that we received. We sat down with Mr. Cox, and the survey is something that we believe would be an ongoing thing to follow up on to see if there are improvements being made or something is creeping up on us that we're not aware of. But we want to continue to do the survey in this fiscal year and build on the existing data.
I guess then we'll tie in the report from the benchmarking survey that we have too.
That's correct. So we would anticipate that the survey will show improvement, and we're making progress, and we'll continue to do that at least 1 more year and then evaluate going forward. And it's a shared expense from general fund and block grant program. I think we do have an excellent program, and we'll provide this for your information. If you have any questions or comments, please follow up with Alan and his staff, and we'll be happy to explain further if you'd like to. Just want to make sure you're in the loop on with regard to where we're going in that program.
Any other questions?
I did want to report a number of things on our sewer construction projects. We've got a lot of things going on. We talked earlier about the WIC project, but we are on schedule and under budget. We are going to make well ahead of the court order to meet improvements on that system, and you drive by, there's a lot of activity going on out there. I'm very excited to report that we finally, after a couple of years now, made the connections at 160. We had a bypass and a pump around situation. We completed that this week. We're able to return some rented pumps and reduce our expense and get that system moving back very well. If you're on the north side of 25E, you can see we're extending a line that is required by contract there to the new car lot on 25E, making progress there. And if you try to navigate East Main Street, you know that there's projects going on there as well. That is the tip of the iceberg in terms of sewer rehab projects that we'll be undertaking over the next year and a half. We are making significant progress. We are staying ahead of our schedule, and we're making significant progress in getting those things done. So we are making the improvements that you want to see in the sewer system. And finally, the last thing I wanted to remind council and let the audience know is that Friday morning, 9 o'clock is our special council workshop to present the budget for the coming year. We'll be meeting at the MUS training room at 9 o'clock on Friday, and it'll be a wonderful show. It's very informative. I guarantee it will be a dog and pony show to be held. So 9 o'clock Friday morning. Thank you. Absolutely. You can be entertained and enlightened. Oversell.
Can I ask Tom a question?
Yes.
Can you give us an update on the diesel plan? Isn't that deadline like June or something?
We're working with, to see how we're going to deal with the deadline. At this point, I don't have an update on where that stands. I expect to be working with the industrial board and getting a report back to you very shortly.
Any other questions, Tommy? Thank you. Next item to come up is communications and petitions. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the audience may speak subject to the guidelines provided, which simply means this: you can ask about or talk about any item, regardless whether it was on the agenda or not on the agenda. The same standards apply here as applied earlier. You must state your name and address for the records. You will be restricted to 3 minutes worth of comments. And at this time, the floor is open for communications and petitions to the general audience.
Again, Reverend Nigel Montgomery, Senior, 1440 Cherokee Drive, apartment number 4, Morristown, Tennessee, 37814. I would like to state that I am highly disappointed, as far as I'm concerned, to have a teacher here who is teaching my family members who's supposed to respect the community. I don't believe she needs to work for us anymore. To have, I guess, a millionaire here, his name is everywhere. We don't need his business here anymore. To have other people here with businesses, even the governor, whoever, any of you people feel like supporting a multi-billionaire. You don't need enough votes anymore. You don't have businesses anymore. Excuse me. I'm like emotional because it doesn't make any sense. The Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. And you supported a money man who's choking this community. And another thing, about the community block grants, understand that there was TDOC money supposed to be used for our poor community over here. But it's sort of diverted for the Millennium Center, for more millionaires. Diversion is another word of embezzlement. I'm gonna cut it to you straight. You people can't get it right. You got a mayor here who got it right for us. And we have a councilman here who got it right for us. Understand. If you're for money, you gotta go. If you're for money, you need to leave our town. Because we don't need you here no more. I'm not gonna mention no names. You know who you are. Now we all know who you are. God knows who you are. Period. We are Christians, united. The only thing dividing us is poor and rich. One other thing I want to talk about. We need a community center here. There's only 2 of you that's on this council that was here when I mentioned this back in 2000. We don't need a health and fitness center where the poor people can't go. Yeah, I've been invited over there. I've been over there, okay? I have 600 plus. Back in the day, it was only $500 disability check. Now it's 600. Okay? Pray to God that maybe my business could pop and I can have a lot of signs around town, the equalizers. Yeah, it takes old Charlie's other business. They all started slow. I'm telling you right now, we need a community center here for the poor people. I wasn't here for the beginning of this budget, but for next year, I'm going to let you know it's going to change. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
Edwin McKinley, 115 East 3rd North, Morris County. I wasn't planning to say anything today, but I am a little confused at this point. So let me just, in the 3 minutes, list some things. First off, I think it would be helpful in the future if, like under this new business resolution section, you notice number 3, it says privileges regarding access to public records. So that explains what that resolution was regarding. But the first two about respecting the ratification of the Senate bills and all that, I didn't know this was going to come up today. I guess I should have gone on the city website. But I think it would be helpful if those two things that said what they were regarding also. Secondly, as far as Representative Miller's survey, I mean, I've said it in here once in the past, I do believe that that was good for political cover. However, as Mr. Moore reported in the paper, it's not a scientific survey. 200 and some versus over 3,000 a decade ago, that's roughly about 8% this time, and yet the population's a lot higher. I myself never got a survey, and I called Representative Miller's office, and I finally got one in the mail, and then 2 days later, I get another one, just like the other gentleman did. So the whole thing was so far off. Thirdly, I do agree that it's a great idea to have, I've heard it called a circuit breaker, or I call it a fail-safe provision, no matter which side is basically bringing it to a standstill. At least this way you can overcome and move on. However, and fourthly, the last thing is, I really still do not understand what is so bad about letting the people have a voice and a vote in this in August. I said it in the past, many people said it today. This came up last summer. It's been about 10 months or whatever that have passed. What's another 3 months? If it's so important to wait 10, why can't we wait 3 more? And at least that way, it'll be on record what people say. And lastly, I'm really confused when this first one about respecting the ratification of the sewer thing, you all said that that doesn't mean we're doing it, it just means we can if we want to later. So what about respecting the bill in the US? Does that mean that you did it, or that you're going to have to take another vote later to do it? Because I assume that it's not going to happen until later, and it will be up for public hearing then, but I don't know, so that's why I'm confused. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
William L. Martin, 138 Highland Drive. I've been here for about 12 years, something like that. I've attended city council meetings quite a bit, and I want to know one thing. Are those microphones, or what are they? I'd like to be able to hear. Now, I have a slight hearing defect, but I think that you ought to talk into it loud enough that even people with a slight hearing defect can hear what's being said. And I also think that when you talk between yourselves, we ought to be able to hear what you say. Now, I'll grant you, I don't hear everything, but I do hear 90%. And I don't think it's right for you not to use your microphones and have them loud enough that we can hear. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
This guy disapproves with me.
My face ready.
Are there any other comments?
I said I'm having fun.
Linda Noe, 2343 Joe Stevens Road, and yes, I'm a city taxpayer. I want to bring up 2 things that I have brought up before. I haven't received any response, any answer, any comments. One would address what Mr. McKinley was talking about, and that is to put the agenda on the city website, but not the packets that would explain and actually allow people who are interested to see what it is you're voting on, what the background information is, and so forth. I asked again. I asked that about a month ago, and I asked again that you go ahead and scan those in like the county does. The other thing is televising your meetings. I know a lot of you said you would support that, but I haven't seen anybody put money for it. I I see new iPads here, I see a new voting system, I see money going for a dog park, money going for a frisbee golf. What about the people? What about providing something to let them see you in action and hopefully hear you better as well? And the final thing is something I mentioned probably more than a month ago, and that is the self-insurance. I'm asked then, how were you accounting for your insurance when you were under self-insurance? How did you know if you were doing well or doing poorly? And I have not received any response for that. So with that in mind, I would appreciate a response on that, and I would like to know, where did that $4 million come that you just a few months ago put into an insurance plan? Did that just materialize, or where had it been before it was apparently dedicated, or however it was appropriated for a self-insurance program? Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Are there any other comments?
My name is Gwen Compton, and I bet you're on mine. I live at 2342 Silver Springs Road. Like I said, I like what I see in the city now, but I don't like what I see from city council. I received a letter from Mr. Miller, and I don't even live in the city. I don't even have any property in the city. And it was 3 days later. So I figured, why didn't we vote? Since I don't even live in the city. But now, I do take a lot of city stuff, but I don't like it. I haven't liked it for years. But I've tolerated it. But I've got to where now that, thanks to my friends that has helped me, that I have got the ability and the nerve to stand up and talk to you all. I used to, wouldn't, because I was afraid of you all. But I'm not afraid anymore. And Gina, I want to thank you for everything that you've done. And Mayor, I want to say to you, and I don't have no respected person, and neither does God. He loves me as same as he loves you. And if you make bad decisions, do you know he still loves you? And we're supposed to love one another, even though we make bad decisions. And we've all made bad decisions. But we need to pray about that we won't make those bad decisions. And that we'll make good decisions. Because see, that's what God wants us to do. I've made bad decisions. And I told God I'm sorry for that. Because that's what he wants us to do. Say, I'm sorry, and then try to do better. And that's what we're supposed to do. Not just the city, but the county too. And government is a servant of the people. Because you're voted in by the people to serve the people. That's what the Constitution says. But you don't. You serve yourself. Because you've got it in your mind, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't care what the people want. I'm going to do what I want to do. But you know what? God has the last word. Believe me, He does. Because we all die. We all go back to dust, and then the judgment. So we need to do good. So when Jesus judges us, he says, good, faithful servant, you can enter in. But if you don't, there's another place you're going to go. Just like me, if I don't do that. But Gina, I thank you for what you do. And Mayor, if I lived in the city and had some property, I'd vote for you.
Are there any other comments?
My name is Carl Murphy. I live at 1101 West Road. I'm a penny pincher. Mayor, sir, I questioned the $5,000 to evaluate the stormwater fees. In 2008, Mr. Crumley, the city has woefully failed to meet minimum requirements of its current discharge permit, and city government hasn't undertaken any significant upgrades to stormwater system in 15 years. Cost includes work ignored for many years. Also, in 2008, city paid AMEC $340,000 to inventory city surfaces and recommend rate structures for stormwater. Some here were there. In 2010, Whitbeck hired to address current stormwater regulations and those that would take effect as time passes. Months later, Cox wants to spend $5,000 for more consultants to evaluate city policy for collection of stormwater fees. And this is just the beginning. With the 100% increase of stormwater fees, homeowners, businesses, and industrials now pay a total of $1,475,000, plus we're still paying for this in our property taxes. Where's this additional money really going? Do you know? Put high-paid administrative staff to work doing this type of work instead of paying others to do it for them. And stop hiring staff we don't need. Now the staff is just the middleman.